it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we will explore the comic book origins of Clark Kent, otherwise known as Superman. As with most comic book characters, there are often reimaginings and different versions to a character's past. We've chosen to primarily follow the original storyline which unfolded in 1938's Action Comics number 1, which was expanded upon in 1939's Superman number 1, and 1948's Superman number 53.
I know some people are asking a lot of questions now that I'm back. I think it's only fair that I answer those people.
So, you're here for an interview?
In Action Comics number 1, Superman's origin story was told on only one page. As a distant planet was dying from old age, a scientist placed his infant son on a spaceship and sent it to Earth. On Earth, the baby was discovered by a passing motorist who turned the child over to an orphanage. Because the child had come from a planet that was millions of years more advanced than Earth, the baby possessed a, quote, advanced physical structure, which granted him incredible strength. Given the name Clark Kent, as an adult, he discovered that he could run faster than a train, leap an eighth of a mile, and hurdle a 20-story building. Deciding to use his gifts to benefit mankind, he became Superman. This extremely brief origin story was expanded upon slightly in the first edition of Superman in 1939. Just like in the previous year's issues, a scientist on a dying planet named Krypton sent his child to Earth. The baby was then discovered by an elderly couple named the Kents, who decided to adopt him themselves after first dropping him off at an orphanage. After learning of his abilities, the Kents told their young boy that people might be scared of his astounding powers, but that he must someday use them to help humanity. His powers were described as nearly identical to those outlined in Action Comics number 38, with the notable addition that his skin was now said to be nigh impenetrable. This origin was expanded upon once again in Superman number 53, the 10th anniversary of Superman's debut. In this version, we learn that humans of high intelligence and magnificent physical perfection lived on Krypton. We also learn that the force of gravity on Krypton was much stronger than that of Earth, so that any Kryptonian on Earth could essentially defy Earth's gravity entirely. However, Jor-El, Krypton's greatest scientist, proclaimed that the planet was doomed. He explained that every atom on Krypton would explode in one giant blast and that they should therefore all migrate to Earth.
I have come to the conclusion that Krypton is about to be destroyed.
Jor-El's prediction was greeted with laughter and skepticism by other Kryptonian elites, who claimed that he wanted to frighten Krypton's leaders away so that he could rule the planet himself. Jor-El returned home to his wife Lara just as Krypton began to self-destruct. Lara, deciding to stay with her husband, placed their infant son into a spaceship and launched it towards Earth. As Krypton exploded in the background, the spaceship traveled through space and eventually landed on Earth. The spaceship was discovered by passing motorists, and it vanished when they recovered the infant.
Sarah, look! Merciful heavens!
They took the child to an orphanage, where his super strength was discovered. Fearing that the child would destroy the orphanage, the resident doctor agreed to let the couple who discovered the child, Mr. and Mrs. Kent, adopt him. They decided to name him Clark Kent. As Clark grew older, he discovered more and more of his powers, including his speed, his jumping ability, his invincibility, and his X-ray vision. Eventually, Mrs. Kent died and Mr. Kent became gravely ill. On his deathbed, he told Clark that he needed to hide his true identity and use his amazing powers for the force of good. When his father finally passed away, Clark decided that a job at a big newspaper would help him keep in touch with those that he needed to help the most. He resigned to wear glasses and be timid, but to change into a blue and red costume and be known as Superman whenever he was needed.
He has resolved to keep secret his Superman identity and to adopt a pose of mild-mannered timidity as Kent in order to safeguard the masquerade.
Like all comic book heroes, Superman has gone through numerous reimaginings, with one of the most famous and long-lasting being 1986's Man of Steel storyline. This storyline maintains most of the aspects of the original storylines, with an added emphasis on Clark's teenage years and his experiences in the town of Smallville. Just like his origin story, Superman's abilities have been revised and modified throughout the years. Abilities that have been added to his roster over the years include, but are not limited to, heat vision, super hearing, super breath, and super intelligence. However, the most notable change to the character was in his ability to fly. Early issues only described Superman's ability to leap great distances, but the creators of the 1940s cartoon show found it wasteful and difficult to animate, having him jump from place to place. Thus, Superman was given the ability to fly. This would not be the last time Superman's medium would change his character. His greatest weakness was revealed to be green kryptonite, irradiated pieces of his former planet. Kryptonite was actually introduced as a plot device for the 1940s radio show, in order to give the voice actor who played Superman a bit of time off.
I told you. It's kryptonite, Superman. Little souvenir from the old hometown.
Although green kryptonite is the most common and deadly foil to Superman, other colors of kryptonite have been known to appear and have had various effects on the Man of Steel. Finally, later issues would change the source of Kryptonian strength to be Earth's yellow sun, meaning Kryptonians on Krypton would not have extraordinary powers due to their own native red sun. Only in the presence of a yellow sun would their true strength emerge, like on Earth. As one of the most famous comic book heroes in history, Superman has appeared in various media, including everything from radio shows to animated series to big-budget blockbusters. George Reeves and Christopher Reeve have provided two of the most famous representations of Superman, on the small screen and big screen, respectively. Recently, Henry Cavill starred as Superman in 2013's Man of Steel, and will reprise the role in 2016's Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Are you a fan of Superman? For more comic book origins, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
I'm here to help, but it has to be on my own terms.